So, I won't see you anymore.
What?
Let's say goodbye here, Shiki.
That's not what I'm worried about. I just like you.
Hi, I'm Avaris Arcueid, back with Tsukihime. Last time, Shiel had Shiki as a captive audience, but fortunately, she's here to explain some things about the elusive big bad evil vampire we've been after all this time, and also shed light on some of Arcueid's past. Starting with Shiel's motivation behind her masquerade as a student, well, it's because I called it, and the big bad is at Shiki's school. The evil vampire is named Michael Roa Valdagnon, and apparently his vampiric stand power gimmick is immortality. More specifically, reincarnation via body-snatching, soul-gen, anime, magic-y magic. He looks specifically for his next body to be born into a powerful, wealthy, and influential family with something extra to their humanity. So they start human and become a vampire. When the vampire soul that possesses them awakens, the original soul is subsumed or literally just was him all along. But now he's fully awakened with all his memories, knowledge, and evil inclinations from his past life, or, lives, something like that. And why is she spilling all this to Shiki? Because it's him, the new Roa. Shiki is the new body. Thinking back to the Shiki and Shiki name spellings in earlier chapters, I'm thinking either he's going to have that split personality thing a la Kara no Kyokai that explains everything from the flashback with Akiha to why he went brain blank and murdered Arcueid the first time he saw her, or something similar. And maybe Shiel will end up as the real final boss on the route. Seems unlikely, but it's anime and anything's possible. As for the inhuman aspect, the Tonos may be a mage family, just like the Tosakas, Matos, and Ainsburns. Akiha definitely knows more than she's telling us. Not sure about Hisui, and Kohaku is very suspicious. Let's not forget the knife she gave Shiki, saying first it was from his father and then from the Arimas in the same conversation, effortlessly mixing obvious lies into something Shiki bought wholesale at face value. Something is up. But back to Shiel. Since Shiki and I are still bound and determined to go after Arcueid, Shiel was about to leave, but then takes time to slander Arcueid, and otherwise explain our vampire princess's super sad, tragic backstory. Shiel keeps trying to emphasize how Arcueid was a weapon and unable to feel or experience things and did nothing extra or pointless. Kind of like she's trying to scare Shiki away from her. But the whole time, Shiki is augmenting her explanation with his understanding of Arcueid, what we've seen and experienced with her, and how lonely she must have been, and contextualizing further away from Shiel's misconceptions through what he and we know about Arcueid, since we've been with her this whole time. Eventually, Shiel lets him go and Shiki races after Arcueid, but no luck. So now, we are waiting, in the park, that promised place, for that promised time. It's sort of a metaphor between the two of them, both just waiting on each other, like I've been waiting on them to realize their feelings. But isn't it time already for them to be honest with each other?
Time passes by. The clock ticks mechanically, recording the passing of each second. I feel like I'm drowning. My body doesn't want to wait a minute longer. Just sitting here waiting seems like the utmost in idiocy, and I want to run off and search for her again. But my heart is calm. Even though my body urges me to hurry, my heart remains calm. I continue waiting, staring up at the moon. It's horribly quiet. No sounds, as if the night froze everything. The quiet stillness as if Arcueid and I were the only ones in the entire world. If I can stay in such a place, then it isn't painful at all to wait for any amount of time. So right now, I'm drowning in bliss. Only time passes by. Just 2 hours until dawn. If the day breaks, Arcueid and I will probably never see each other again. And time just passes by. And then, like a white rabbit in the snow, she unexpectedly arrives in the park.
Arcueid, I missed you!
Arcueid doesn't say anything. With downcast eyes, she doesn't make a move to come closer. Arcueid. I call out to her. She doesn't respond or even look in my direction. I can't speak. I don't know what I can say to make her smile again. Right now, I feel like any words coming out of my mouth will only make her sadder. Time seems to stretch to eternity. In reality, the ticking of the clock can't have happened even close to 1,000 times. Arcueid lifts her head, looking like she's watching a dream.
You wouldn't go home at all, Shiki. So I came here because I couldn't leave you alone, even though I really was thinking of going back to my room. Aw, they both can't leave each other alone. So stay together. The solution is obvious.
She hesitates as she speaks, but she says this in her usual cheerful manner. Of course I wouldn't go back. Didn't I say I'd keep my promise? I still haven't been any help tonight.
That's enough. You don't have to do that anymore.
Enough? Just what's enough, Arcueid?
Doesn't it go without saying? It's just that I'm a vampire, and you're a human, Shiki. I didn't have any right to receive help from you. I didn't understand that earlier, and I would have ruined you if I went a bit farther. That's why... it's enough.
She whispers. What are you saying all of a sudden? I was ready for that from the time I agreed to help you. I understood far better than you that you were a vampire. Knowing that, I still said I'd help you. This is nothing I can agree with. Arcueid, you don't need to worry about what happened earlier. You were just tired and weak. I'm an idiot, so I couldn't realize your lie. You weren't in pain because of your wounds, but because of your vampiric impulses, right? Senpai told me all about it.
That woman. Since when did agents from the burial agency become so talkative?
Less with hate and more with exhaustion, Arcueid gives a deep sigh. I heard it all from Senpai, so I'll be direct. I don't see any problem, Arcueid. You're in pain now, but you'll return to normal in a few days, right? So you don't need to worry. And about before, even though you were in so much pain, you held yourself back, didn't you? So it's all right. Let's just continue like we were until now. With some difficulty, Arcueid smiles weakly.
Shiki, you don't understand at all. It's useless to do this. Even now, I want to drink your blood.
But you only think that. Then try hard and resist it. Haven't you tried so hard like that until now?
That's true. Until now, I've held myself back. No, I was able to. But I guess it's useless now. Even though the only meaning for my existence is to hunt other vampires, I did a lot of extra things. If I didn't know anything, I never would have thought of wanting anything. If I didn't rely on you and pursued the enemy by myself, it would have been all right.
It would have been okay if she was by herself? Is she serious? Does she seriously believe that? With such a sad face? With such a sad voice? With such a solitary appearance and on the verge of collapse? That just ticks me off. Snap out of it, you idiot!
What?
Don't be ridiculous. What do you mean if you pursued the enemy by yourself it would have been alright? Because it was impossible by yourself. Because you finally realized there are things you can't do by yourself. You asked me for help, right? Then rely on me until the very end. I'll help you. No matter what happens, I'll help you, so... don't look like that. Don't say those things. Finally. If you finally realize that life is fun, please don't simply give up on such happiness.
Shiki, are you crying?
Like heck I am. Why would I cry over you? It's just, she's saying such stupid things. It makes me so angry that my emotions are going crazy. Anyway, we'll continue searching for this vampire, okay? If we can defeat this Roa guy, then you can get some rest. Then everything's solved. There aren't any problems at all. With terribly peaceful eyes, she gives a quiet nod.
But it's too late for me, Shiki. You said I held myself back before, but I really didn't. Back then, I only stopped because you became afraid of me. That counts. That totally counts. Many people have been afraid of me, like a monster. So I didn't feel anything when hated or feared. But it really is strange, you know? I really didn't want you to look at me like I was a monster. But I am a monster, no matter how you look at me.
She forces out a dry laugh. No, it just happened so fast. I was just surprised. That's a lie. That's a lie I can't even fool myself with. Arcueid painfully looks away. Sensei told me before that you'll only hurt the other person when you tell lies that you can't even deceive yourself with.
That's why I stopped for an instant. I was scared of you looking at me like that. I would break apart if you look at me like that in the future, too. So, I won't see you anymore.
What?
Let's say goodbye here, Shiki. We probably associated too much with each other.
She turns around swiftly. She says this while trying not to look at me. Associated too much, huh? Maybe that's true. For both me and Arcueid. If we never knew much about each other, this would have never happened. I would have just returned to my normal life, and she'd have probably kept going by herself. You're right. Maybe we have associated too much already. But I think we're fine like that. Because isn't always being by yourself lonely? Arcueid doesn't answer. She looks so vulnerable. I want to embrace her and support her. And to be honest, I really enjoyed these past few days. I almost died, but it wasn't all bad. So let me help you until the very end. How could I sleep if I knew I left you alone?
No, you don't have to worry about me. I will kill Roa no matter what. I will destroy him even if it kills me. You've done enough already, Shiki. This city will soon return to normal, so you don't have to worry anymore.
Her voice as she faces away from me has no trace of her usual brightness. I can't bear this anymore. I'm going to stop acting like this. Idiot. That's not what I'm worried about. Saying that, I draw closer to her. Arcueid tries to escape. I grab her arm from behind and make her turn around.
Shiki.
Since you don't understand me unless I'm direct, I'll be direct. Look, I didn't agree to help you to stop the vampire in this city. I really don't have any fine ideals such as protecting the city I live in. Right, I was only fooling myself. The reason isn't anywhere near to being that noble. I just like you. I just like you. I wanted to help you, so I agreed to help you. So now, I just can't leave you. I reveal it all, and I embrace Arcueid straight on.
Oh.
Her gasp isn't one of resistance. She simply stands there in astonishment, accepting my embrace. There's nothing wrong with you wanting to drink my blood.
Shiki, it hurts. My arms hurt.
That'll make it even. Because I have always wanted you too. Even now, I'm consumed with passion just hearing your heartbeat. From her arms I hold, from her body up against mine, I can feel the beating of her heart.
No, Shiki. That's just... For right now, it's only a whim of yours.
Just hearing this sound makes me want to hug her to death. Even so, if I love you right now, Arcueid, that is my truth. I don't care about what happens later. Or do you hate me? The heartbeat skips.
No. I can't answer that.
The heartbeat stops. In its place, Her arms wrap around my back like falling rain. At first, just gently, then hard, as if answering me. Her arms squeeze my body into hers. Our embrace lasted only an instant. I don't even know which one of us separated first. That is, if we planned it, we both let go. She blushes, looking away. There is only about an hour until dawn. As the night ends, so does Arcueid's time. But I can't bear parting with her anymore. If it can be forgiven, right now, I want to...
My room.
Eh?
Can we go to my room? If you say you're going to protect me, I don't want you to go back.
A hesitant voice. Even I can understand what she means. Nodding wordlessly, I walk with Arcueid to her room. I enter before her. Behind me, I can sense Arcueid. If I turn around, I know my feelings will rise out of control. But still, my mind is almost surprisingly calm. I don't quite understand it myself, but perhaps it is the contradicting impulse of being insane yet sane that loving someone brings. Arcueid. I try to turn around. Before I finish, I feel her hand lightly rest on my back.
Don't turn around. Wait just like this for a while.
Her voice is exceedingly calm. The hand on my back doesn't move, as if making sure of something.
Hey, Shiki. Do you remember when I first waited for you?
Yeah, I remember. The one I killed was waiting with a smiling face. How could I forget?
Yeah. Back then, I really hated you.
Despite her words, her voice is very gentle. Arcueid?
I knew I wouldn't be able to suppress my vampiric impulses by myself any longer, and I knew this probably would be my chance, and I pursued Roa. I thought I finally found him, and then someone I didn't even know killed me and ruined everything. Back then, all I could feel was hatred. And I found the one who killed me, and waited at that road for such a long time. I was thinking you should just hurry up. Hurry up and come here. Once I saw you, I'd make you suffer the same fate. I really did hate you. I hated you so much I thought my chest would burst with hatred as I waited.
The pressure on my back increases. Arcueid?
But no one has ever killed me like that before. I was a bit curious about what kind of person you were, too. And I never thought so strongly about someone before. In the beginning, it was just hatred. But it started to slip when I wondered what kind of human you were. Soon, I wanted to meet you, to find out about you. The one who killed me like that. And for the first time, I almost lost track of myself, and I kept wondering, Shiki, what you said before, about how being by yourself is lonely. I thought that wasn't true. But when I waited for you, the one who I madly thought about, I felt happy. I wanted to meet you right away. But it turned out great that I held on and waited for you. It was really fun. I was so excited. I kept imagining what kind of person you were.
She pulls her hand from my back.
Thinking back, I started to feel the need for someone else from that time, and I felt unsatisfied with just being by myself. You said you liked me, but I think I fell in love with you before we even met.
Her voice is just so lovely. There's no need for hesitation. Turning around, I embrace her. Our lips come together naturally. I don't know who started it. Maybe we both did. We just did it gently. We kissed to feel each other's presence just a bit closer.
Aw. Woohoo! Mutual feelings realized. Woohoo! And before long, this might turn into one of those, not totally safe for general audiences sort of scene. So we'll see. We'll see how far it goes. Because I really like this. It's very cute with them now.
Holding my breath, I take in everything about the way she feels. Her soft lips, the skin that would never touch anything, is touching me right now. Just thinking about it makes my head spin, yet touching her is so warm and relaxing. Her body is trembling lightly, but she doesn't seem to be scared at all. Her closed eyes, the shade of red on her cheeks, is so adorable. I really can't believe it. This Arcueid is the one I love so much. I couldn't even imagine that just doing this would make me feel more love toward her. We pull back. Still holding each other, we look at each other in embarrassment.
That was a kiss, wasn't it?
She says this with a deep blush, her red eyes looking up at me imploringly, her golden hair waving before my eyes. Arcueid, you don't like this kind of thing?
That's not it. My heart's beating fast right now.
Certainly, her heart is beating loudly. Or is it my heartbeat? She looks straight into my eyes.
But this is troubling. I'm wondering if this is really okay.
Is what okay?
Because there aren't any vampires that kiss.
Blushing, she smiles embarrassedly. That gesture was checkmate. Taking off my glasses, I embrace her once more. One more time. Not the mutual kiss of before. I do a hungry, searching, stealing kiss. Arcueid sucks in a breath. I don't care. I just can't hold anything back, and kiss her deeply. Arcueid tries to breathe in. I steal even that. I lift her chin and hold her head, covering her lips with mine and intertwining our tongues. I want to become one. Pushing against Arcueid's mouth as she tries to escape, I slip my tongue past her lips. My tongue easily dips into her mouth. The sounds we make, the sensations of our touching tongues, easily lets me imagine what we look like. As her tongue tries to pull away, I wrap mine around it. Wrapping, intertwining, sucking. The sensation on the tip of my tongue is almost ticklish, but the sucking on the base of my tongue feels like absolute zero. Unable to breathe, our throats still try to swallow. Her white throat moves painfully, crying for oxygen. At the same time, her mouth sucks my tongue in, and our tongues mix together even more deeply. Moving my tongue, I draw her lip in farther. Our breathing, our exploring, all within our mouths. The sounds of our joining fills the air. There's no end. The pleasure from this is enough to make me pass out. Is it because our mouths and tongues are so close to our brains? Meeting like this causes my mind to go blank more than anything I've felt before. Pleasure trips a fuse in my brain, threatening to overwhelm me. Our interrupted breathing. At some point, her mouth, which was seeking oxygen, started to tangle her tongue with mine. As our tongues intertwine, they come into my mouth. I realize that was my own voice. I can't believe it. Someone else's tongue is entering my mouth. This feeling, this slight sense of discomfort of something foreign in my mouth. And above that, this overwhelming pleasure which feels like it could kill me. We try to breathe as our tongues indulge one another. I had no idea a tongue could generate such a sensation simply by touching another tongue. Just being in contact puts us out of breath. Inhaling, nibbling. Just that makes me go crazy, makes me unable to think of anything but her. Closing her eyes as if resisting something, Arcueid answers back. It's completely different from our gentle kiss from before. There's only a male and a female here now. Our mouths are already wet. Saliva begins to spill from our lips, from mine to hers, from hers to mine. but it isn't dirty, and like the world's most powerful aphrodisiac, it causes all thought to crumble away. And like that, not just my tongue, but wanting everything to come together, I pull back from Arcueid's mouth. I gasp for air. My chest hurts. I don't know how long we were like that. I can't even breathe properly.
Well, it's consensual at least. That was really good.
Tongues always pressed to your cheeks.
But even more than that, I want to touch her body and feel her against me.
Shiki.
Concerned, Arcueid looks into my face. Her blushing, hesitant expression. Arcueid. I can't stop. I hold her tight. I want to sleep with you. I want you. At first, she gives no answer. Then, keeping her head down, her entire face goes red as she nods. As naturally as if she was taking off her hat, Arcueid removes her clothing. It is less a removal and more an emergence, though a sight beautiful enough to take my breath away. Her white clothes disappear without a sound. Okay, we're getting there. Looking at Arcueid's figure causes my rampaging mind to come to a complete stop. It's not that I became calm, but she's just so beautiful. I forget to think or go wild. I can't speak. She shyly sits down on the bed.
Shiki?
Her gaze asks me what's wrong. Nothing. Her white skin is tinged with a faint hue of red. That charming tint causes all rational thought to fade away.
Shiki, am I not...
That's not it. You're so beautiful, I was just fascinated.
Yeah.
She shyly averts her eyes and reveals her body. Using both hands to cover her lower body causes her chest to be accentuated. You really are beautiful. You're just so perfect. Saying that, I reach out and brush them with my fingers. Yep, we're done here.
Man, they just keep going. Alright, so they finished, and I was gonna say something about... I think this was the longest not safe for work scene that we've had with the two of them. This scene was, at least to start with, it was really nice how they were treating each other for a little bit there. And then we kind of just went into default ecchi territory, I want to say. Which is fine. But it feels like a contractual obligation when it's literally a case of, weren't they finally letting the facade come down? Weren't they finally really starting to connect with each other and be honest and stuff?
I'm spent. I look down at her as I breathe heavily. She's breathing peacefully as she sleeps. I start to feel a little embarrassed thinking back on it. I feel no regrets over having sex with her. Well, maybe just a little. I wanted to be a bit calmer, so that I could have enjoyed more of the sensation of her skin and the look of her embarrassed expressions. I guess I still can't. I'm doing my best only keeping up with her. Actually, I'm not sure a day will come where I can be calm about Arcueid's body. Even today, I don't remember much about what I did. All I can remember is how good it all felt. If tiredness is any indication of how good it was, I'm so exhausted I can't even walk now. Stifling a yawn, I look down at her sleeping face. I really do love her. She answered my selfish love. It might be a different form than the love I'm feeling, but Arcueid needs me too. Just that. Just that makes me extremely happy. Not the fact that I'm needed, but for her, who until now was always alone, for her to need someone else makes me happy. And you know, with this, you're not alone anymore, Arcueid. Everything starts to sway a little. It seems I'm getting sleepy too. Laying down on my back next to her, I take a deep breath. Like that, I sink into a deep sleep. In the midst of a deep sleep, I have a dream where Arcueid wakes up before me and is doing something terrible.
Oh, no. No. Nothing stupid. Not after...
Arcueid is rustling about by herself. What are you doing? I ask.
Oh. You're awake, Shiki?
Not really. I'm more asleep than awake. Thanks to you, my body isn't quite doing what I tell it to.
I see. I'm flattered, but it's a bit embarrassing.
Arcueid smiles like a little girl. I think it's strange for me to know what she looks like when I have my eyes closed, but since she looked so happy, I decided to ignore such a trivial thing.
Hey, Shiki.
What is it? You must be tired too, so you should sleep until nighttime.
What if I became a true vampire? What would you do, Shiki?
Such a strange question. But that wouldn't ever happen. Because you're afraid of drinking blood, right?
That's why it's a what-if question. It's only natural to steal other lives to preserve your own in nature, right? So it's just a story of, what if I became like that?
Cut it out. That won't ever happen. And I don't like talking about what-ifs. Didn't I say that before?
Really? I like what-ifs. Not knowing how things will turn out, yet still having hope at least for that moment.
That's right. You said something like that before too, Arcueid.
Yeah. So, I was wondering what I would have done if you were a horrible person.
Arcueid?
I love you, Shiki. You let me feel this way, and enabled me to tell you like this. You really were kind to me.
Why is Arcueid crying?
Well, Shiki, I'll be leaving before you wake up. I won't be able to say goodbye directly, so forgive me for doing it this way.
The sound of a door shutting. Still sleeping, I hear it close. I wake up. Bright sunlight streams in through the curtains. Looking at the clock, it just turned noon. Crud, school. I quickly get up. But come to think of it, it's Sunday today. There's no need to go to school. If there's anything I should worry about, it's the fact that I stayed over at Arcueid's place without calling home. Come to think of it, I think I saw a weird dream. A dream where I was talking to Arcueid, and she kissed me at the end. I'm really out of it. For me to see such a happy dream when Arcueid is sleeping next to me might be proof I'm really happy right now, though. Don't you think so, Arc? I turn to the bed, and my voice cuts off there. Arcueid? I look at the bed in shock. There's no one there. Arcueid isn't around anywhere.
I'll be going now.
In my dream, Arcueid said that. Hey, wait! I look around the room, but of course, she isn't anywhere. The only thing I find is a single piece of paper on the table. What? I don't know if it's some kind of joke or it's in another language, but the paper only has the word bye written on it. Why? I don't want to believe it. But more than that, I can understand what Arcueid did. Why? You've got to be kidding me. goodbye is just too simple. We even promised. We promised to be together. I told her I'd help her until the very end. Why did she go off by herself again? Why, Arcueid?
That's what I want to know.
I scream as loud as I can and crumble the piece of paper. After that, I fly out of the room and look all over like I've gone mad. I can't find Arcueid. I know. I already know that she won't ever appear before me again. But I still can't give up. I'll go crazy like this. I'll go crazy unless I find her and yell at her for how much of an idiot she's been. But I still can't find her. I'll never see her again. Something desperately ends. She will settle things with Roa and disappear by herself. No, I think she's already finished and left the city.
So I accidentally reached a bad end. Darn it.
I stop thinking before I go crazy. I hear the voices of cicadas in the back of my ear. The discarded shells of cicadas. My body becomes light with nothing inside it, and I cannot think anymore. So this is what it means to be truly empty. Not even tears come forth. Still, an empty shell. My legs move. I guess it's just like an animal's instinctual sense to go home. Even though I have nothing left in me, I am walking towards my house.
"11th day, savage night." I hope I didn't make wrong decisions. I kind of want to take a break right here. Well, I may have steered us wrong, Shiki. I'm not quite sure where, because you'd think, after the not-for-safe-for-work scene, that means that everything should be going swimmingly on the route. But maybe the route is just destined for a bitter end. Goodness knows you couldn't actually get together with Saber in her ending. It should... You had to do one of the other endings in order to get the girls to stay put. There's also the possibility that after we face the big bad... Like, there's no way that she already defeated the guy and went home. I mean, we wouldn't have another chapter. It would be like, you know, epilogue type thing, where it's like, hey, guess what? You reached the bad end. Here's the epilogue because she left after your night and everything was already dealt with. But if we actually do have another day, then there is more to do, and maybe we can get back with Arcueid. Maybe there's still a shot. I mean, maybe. It'd be nice, right? I don't think I did anything against the guide. I might have to go through this and review it. Even though I didn't check some of those. I think I made the right one, though. Didn't I? I don't know. But anyway, hopefully we'll find out next time. Thanks so much for joining me. Hopefully this was fun, at least as much as it was for me. And thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you next time. Bye!